We left off last time looking at partial sums, and we did an example of the standard algorithm, but I want to point you again to the textbook. It has a longer explanation of our traditional method or the standard algorithm for addition. And again, it comes back to those base 10 blocks that I mentioned previously that you have a link to, you can play with. But you can also kind of go through what happens when you add like 6 plus 8, there's your 14, right? And then you end up with a new 10. So that's where our standard algorithm comes from. So you have this, and in the textbook we have a longer explanation of kind of how we regroup, right? And then have to carry a value. And then when you carry that one, what are we really talking about? We're carrying or adding another value to that place. So we get another group of 10 or another group of 100 or another group of 1,000. That's when you write that little one up on top as we do it. So just go ahead and go through the textbook if you have a chance, because we're going to move towards um, what we call the lattice method for addition. And again, there's a kind of a cute video before that on partial sums that if you're interested, go and take a look at as it kind of explains some of that process for us in a cute way. But let's go ahead and jump into the lattice method. So here are the steps for this problem: 568 plus 457. And it might not look like it might look like just a bunch of like kind of a mess of numbers here, but there's a process to that. So let's go ahead and take a look at what that process is. When we think about this here, let me use red here. There we go. As we think about it, 8 plus 7 is 15. So we keep track of them like this. 6 plus 5 is 11. 5 plus 4 is 9, 0, 9. So we keep track of placeholders. Step 2 then is to, in this case, add diagonally this way. So you get 5, 1 plus 1 is 2, 1 plus 9 is 10, so 0, you'd carry the 1, 1 plus 0 is 1, so you have your final answer, 1025. So it's just another way of organizing your thinking. And so let's recreate this. I'll do it in green. The answer is there already, but we can recreate it. So 628, just to show you what the empty one would look like, 456. And what we're going to do is you make a lattice or a box, and then we have 3 placeholders, and then put a diagonal like that. So once we set it up, then we go ahead and do the addition. 8 plus 6 is 14, as we have over here. 2 plus 5 is 7, 6 plus 4 is 10, and then we add diagonally, right? We're going to add in a diagonal form going across. And so then you get the 4 plus, you get 4, you get 8. 0 plus 0, 0. 1 plus 1 is 1. And there you go. That's how you do it. So it's just another way. A lot of students actually like this because of the organization. So keep that in mind for the lattice minute. Practice some of that. Do I have I thought I had a link. No, I don't have a link to that in the textbook. I thought I did, but okay. Let's continue on. Before we get to subtraction, we're going to challenge you to do some of this in base 5 over here. So what we need to remember in base 5 is your single digit arithmetic in base 5 and base 2. So pause and take a look at this if you need time. What we see here is the single digit arithmetic for base 5. 2 plus 2 is 4. 3 plus 2 is 5, which is 1, 0. These are all in base 5. Here's your single digit arithmetic in base 2. 1 plus 1 is 1, 0, right? 1 plus 1 is 2. So again, you may pause and need to go back, but this is awesome to go through because it will then connect you back to what we have to do when children learn. In order to do arithmetic in base 10, they need to know their single digit arithmetic. In order for you to do arithmetic in base 5 or base 2, you need to know your single digit. You need to be proficient in your single digit values for adding. So again, pause and take a look at that. You need to be able to do that. Otherwise, you can't do these problems. Now, the problems are completed. I'll talk you through them. 412 plus 23. Notice 2 plus 3. I go back over here. 2 plus 3 is 1, 0. Right? 2 plus 3 is 5, but that's in base 5, it's 1, 0. So you put a 0 and then carry the 1. 1 plus 1 plus 2 is 4. Good. 4 plus 0 is 4. There's your answer. Same thing here in base, but using lattice method, just using that. So 4 plus 2 is 1, 1, like 6, right? One group of 5, 1, 1. So there's your 4 plus 2. So we write 1, 1. 0, 3 is 0, 3. 1, 4 is 1, 0. 4 plus nothing is 0, 4. And then you add diagonally. 1 plus 1 is 1. 1 plus 3 is 4. 0, 0. 1, 4 is 0 with carry the 1. 1, 0 plus 0 is 1. And then there's your answer in base 5. Same thing for base 2. Go and take a look at that again. Of course, you're not going to teach your students this. This is for you to learn how to add in different bases so that you learn how children have to learn how to add in base 10. So if you're confused here, look at it, take a look. You need to reference this. It's worth figuring it out, right, as you go through that.